All right, so we have two sorted arrays here. One is A, one is B, and then we have this array, which we will populate with these values, and at the end of this whole algorithm, it's going to be sorted, right? And here we have a statement to run the, or to print out the values of the array at C. So far, there's nothing there. There's just 0, 0, 0. First thing we're going to need to do is create a method. Call it, I'm going to make it static. It returns nothing, and I'll call it merge. The parameter of left, parameter of right, and a parameter of main. And we'll start by declaring variables, three variables I, j, and k. So I is 0, j is 0, and k is 0. Right. And the next thing we're going to need to do is loop through each of these array simultaneously. Actually, we're going to loop through left and right simultaneously by saying I is less than left.length and right is less than right.length. What am I doing? That's a mistake. J is less than right.length. And then we will check if the value at left at index I, which is, now left is going to be 2, right? Because left at index I, that's going to be, when I call this array, sorry, when I call this method and pass in the values A, B, and C, A is going to be left and B is going to be right. C is going to be main. You get me? So when you say left at index I, you're checking if that value, the first value, is less than the first value of the right array. And we're going to say J. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refactor this to length because I have realized that it's going to make things a lot easier to understand. We'll call this left. We'll refactor this to right. And this C, we'll refactor that to main. So you can see clearly what I'm talking about. And now, if 2 is greater than, if 2 is less than 1, of which is not, we're going to add that value to main, basically. So main at index k, which is 0, is now going to be equal to left at the index of I. Or else, oh yeah, the next thing we're going to need to do is increment k, and we're going to need to increment I. Or, to make things simple, we increment here directly. And we can now remove these brackets since it's one statement. And then we can say main, or else main at k plus plus is equal to right at the index of j plus plus. So this is going to be false. 2 is not less than 1. So what's going to happen is this statement is going to execute, and then that value 1 is going to be added into main, right? So let me just show you what's going to happen when I run this right now. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 0, 0. And let me show you why that happens. 2. Now from here we're comparing. Oops. Let's give it some time. We're comparing 2 and 1, right? 2 is not less than 1. So this one is going to execute, and then 1 is going to be added into this array. So at first, 1 is going to be here. And then now what's going to happen when 1 is added into the array, j gets incremented. Now j moves on to bigger and better things. It goes to 2, 3, while this one remains as 2, right? And then now the next comparison is between 2 and 3. So it's going to check is 2 less than 3, which is true. And then it gets added into the array. That's going to be 2. And then this gets incremented and that remains as it is. Now it's going to compare 5 and 3, and 3 is going to be added into the array. And then while this is added, and then it moves on to 4. Now it's going to compare 5 and 4. And then 4 is going to be added into the array. And then this reaches its end. And then since that has reached its end, remember the condition here says while I is less than length and j is less than right dot length. So right has reached the end, so which means that now when we come back, this statement is going to be false. So this will not execute, it's going to stop, and then we're going to be left with 0 and 0. Hopefully you guys understood that. And now the next thing we're going to need to do, since now we have those excess values, we're going to need to add them to this array. We'll say while I is less than left dot length, we're going to say main at the index of k plus plus is equal to left at the index of I plus plus. So what are we doing here? We're saying now we have an excess value here in the left. Whatever, how many other excess values are there? It's 2 here. If there were 5, we'd loop through all of them, right? So we have 2 excess values left, and what we're gonna do is we're just going to add them to this array. We can also do the same for j for the right array, and then we can say main at index of k plus plus is equal to right at the index of j plus plus. Okay, yeah. Now that should add all the values that are or that haven't been added yet. So yeah, now we have a whole sorted array. That's how you merge 2 sorted arrays. Play around with this algorithm, make some mistakes, tweak it, find out why you made some mistakes. That's going to help you understand it a lot more. Now, this is one part of the merge sort algorithm. This is just to merge 2 sorted arrays. Now, in the next video, we're going to talk about merging or doing the whole merge sort array. We're going to have an unsorted array, and we're going to split it into many different, we're going to split it recursively into 2 arrays recursively, and then we merge those 2 pieces up until we have one sorted array. You'll see how it works.